So, hi Libra. I'm Haley. I'll be your interviewer today, and we're just going to talk about your experience being transgender, and then we'll go more specific into public restroom use.
Okay.
So first off, who do you identify as?
Well, my birth name is Marquand LaRae Davis, born October 12th, 1987. I discovered my true, authentic self, we'll say 2010, where I identified myself as Libra. So my name is Libra. There's like no last name yet, and I have not officially changed my name over. It costs too much at this current time. And there's a lot of processes you have to go through. But as of right now, everyone calls me one word, Libra. Everybody knows me by that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So give me a little history about yourself and becoming transgender.
Well, I came out when I was, 8th grade, almost a freshman in high school. So that was a long time ago. I can't do the math right now.
Okay.
So we'll say 2001. Came out. I told my mother, I was living with my mother and her husband at the time. I told her I really didn't tell her. It was just so happened that she put 2 and 2 together. And she was like, so that guy that you're always with, because I was in band and I played the flute. And she was like, guys don't play flutes. They play like drums and saxophones and trumpets and stuff. And I was like, well, I want to be part of the color guard. I think that's awesome. And I wanted to do other things. I like the sound of the flute. I played the oboe. I did all the things that the opposite of what God's supposed to do. So she put things together and she was like, so you're in band, you're twirling flags, you're throwing swords and rifles. What are you doing? So I finally told her and she was like, get out. So I was kicked out at the age of we'll say 13.
Wow.
And I was able to go to a homeless shelter for youth. It's for runaway youth, but I wasn't a runaway. So I had to get permission from her to go to this shelter. And I've seen it inside of it. I pretty much stayed in almost every room during this course of time of me growing up from high school. So almost a freshman all the way through my high school years. It was tough. I probably say when we moved to Minnesota was when I was able to find more people that were like myself. And at the time, I was just more ghosting. And that's a term we use when we don't really tell people what our true gender is. So you would probably wear baggy clothing, or you'll wear clothing that are just not fitting for the weather or for you. I used to do that a lot. And my hair would stay long, and I would tie it up, or I would wear braids or something of the sort. So people really didn't know who I was or what I was. And I always got those questions all the time. So when I got in high school, the high school I went to was in Minnesota. It was a bohemian style life, and everybody was so free and full of life and colorful. And no cares, no worries. I seen girls kissing girls, the guys hanging out with guys, and it wasn't more of basketball, football, testosterone stuff. Because me, I was in the choir, I was on a dance team, I was captain of the cheerleading squad, and I was in the dance troupe, so I had dance classes. I was a performing arts major, so I really didn't do everything that people would expect me to do.
Cool. So now we're going to switch over to the restroom, your restroom experiences. So let's start with your experience with public restroom use.
I'll probably say one of my most memorable moments. I used to work at McDonald's on 84th and Greenfield, so right around the corner, across the street from Stateford Park. And I would be in the bathroom, and at the time, I would wear my hair in long braids, and I'll tie them up, and I'll be in the bathroom, the men's room, and I wash my hands, and the guys would literally come in, stare at me, open their mouth, and look around is this the right bathroom? And I'm sitting here yes, this is the right bathroom. You're in the right bathroom. It was crazy. I would get that a lot. So if people look at you and they see that their mind feels and thinks that you're not supposed to be in that space, that's where you start seeing that kind of mistaken identity, or people start acting weird. It wasn't until I got in trouble where someone went to the manager and said there's a woman in the men's bathroom. And I'm like, it's me. You know, and they were trying to tell me that I need to like man up my look and I need to look more masculine and stuff like that. I'm like, okay. Back then I didn't know, because that was a big lawsuit. That could be really, really big. I used to always get that every time. I can go to public restrooms. They'll see me standing up at the urinal and they'll be like, I'm sitting here like, really? You think a woman's going to stand up at the urinal and use the bathroom? Get it together. Come on now. But I've always had a feminine look. I always had a feminine looking body. How my speech is very feminine. I just always had the confusion. Always, always, always. What I'm seeing now, though, is a lot of change. And that would mostly start back in Madison, because, you know, Madison is our capital. And a lot of things can kind of progressively happen quicker. And what I've noticed is they have unisex bathrooms available, or now they'll have like a family bathroom, or they'll have an all-gender bathroom.
Wow.
And one of those three would happen. And that is amazing. I started seeing people post that. It started in Madison, and it's starting to go across Wisconsin, starting to go across the United States as well, which is a very wonderful thing, because now anyone can use the restroom however they wanted to. I went to a conference once upon a time for GLSEN. I opened up for Dorothy Espelage, and she loved my introduction speech, but she taught us about the campaign Free to Pee. So basically, anyone can go to any restroom that they feel and use the bathroom. It's called Free to Pee. You do your business, because that's what you're in there for. Who cares?
Yeah.
Everyone does the same thing. They pee and they poo. Doesn't matter. But what I've also noticed is that people are not giving you those weird looks anymore. They're just, okay, you're doing the same thing I'm doing. Going to pee or poop. That's it.
So it's more accepting now.
So it's a lot more accepting. What I would like to see more of is in public places where it's a unisex bathroom or all gender bathroom and it's labeled. I would also like to see that more like in malls and in department stores and stuff like that. You kind of see them in certain places, but you want to see them in more places where people more frequent as often.
I agree. So what part have you played in changing some of the laws and social justices to bring to change equal rights for transgender use of public restrooms?
If there was any way that I can put some kind of face with something saying like I support, or I am trans, or I'm an ally, or anything of the sort, I try to either promote that to get other people involved, or put myself in that place to be involved myself. Because this is a life that I'm living, and I'm getting affected, my friends are being affected, and everyone else that I'm around, they're becoming affected. So for you to not say anything or support or speak up, that is kind of like setting us back. So I've gone to conferences and I've supported. I've done things as far as social media, tweeting or posting on Facebook. I'm always on Huffington Post. I'm always on GLSEN. I'm always looking at other LGBT community centers that are across the United States and seeing what they're doing progressively for change. My job prior to working at Macy's was working at the Milwaukee LGBT Community Center, where I was one of 3 people that ran the youth program. And so we were always getting our youth to do outreach, to get them informing people, to get them campaigning, to get them getting a lot of people to start doing the social justice type of movement, to getting, equal rights for everybody, but specifically transgender people, because those people were being left out when it came down to LGBT rights. Okay.
Do you know specifically what the laws are in Wisconsin right now for transgender and using public restrooms? So say if you wanted to use a woman's restroom, is that illegal at this point? Do you know that, or?
I don't know the full logistics because it's a hairy kind of thing, and it's still being passed. And like I said, it started in Madison.
Okay.
And then Madison has to like help it branch out even more. I use the women's restroom because I'm not gonna go in the men's restroom looking like this. No, they're gonna be looking at me and they're gonna be trying to say something going on happening. I'm not gonna do that. But even when I'm in public, I still go to the women's restroom. That's the restroom I feel comfortable going in. That's the restroom I identify with. And then also it keeps down traffic. And it keeps down the looks and the stares and people talking. Because if they see that you appear to be a woman, then you don't have to worry about the little kids. Like, mommy, why is that man going into the bathroom? Or, anything of that sort. You don't have to worry about that. My message to my fellow transgender people is that you have to feel comfortable within your own skin to be your authentic self. And you use whatever restroom that you feel comfortable with, whether you're a male to female or female to male transgender person. However you identify, whatever makes you feel comfortable, use that restroom, regardless of the looks or the stares. Because at the end of the day, you're only going to do one of two things. Well, three. Pee, poop, or wash your hands.
That's true. That's very true. Well, I think I'm out of questions here. But thank you, Libra. Do you have any do's and don'ts of speaking to transgender, or anything that always rubs you the wrong way that you would like to get across to people who don't really know?
Okay. It's a lot.
Okay.
If there's someone that you suspect probably is transgender, or you like something a little off about them, ask. Just ask a question. Be like, hey, are you transgender? Or if you don't feel comfortable saying it, you can say, how do you identify? And then they're like, what? And then they'll think about it, like, oh, you're asking me. Someone's actually asking, not assuming. Because that's something that a lot of people get. They get assumed and put inside of a box, and people then go from there and treat people as such. But it's always best, ask. It's okay. We're not mean people. We're not people who are just sad and lonely and depressed and all that other stuff. Ask questions. A thing that we do is called PGP, which is preferred gender pronouns. What that basically means is you're asking them how they would like for you to refer to them as. So if I say she, her, and hers, that's how you refer me. She went to the store. This is her cell phone, or that is her remark. She, her, and hers. Other people will identify as he, him, and his. Same way. That is, he went to the store, that's his, and I'm going to go with him. Or they'll say they don't use any gender, so they don't care if it's male or female pronouns. It can be anything you want to use, and it'll kind of sound like z, zer, and zers. It's kind of different, but listen to what they say, and they'll let you know. Also, if someone gives you their gender pronouns, use them. Please don't. If they say they identify as female, do not say he. I get that all the time. I just give people weird looks when you say he, because I'm like, excuse me, I don't have all this lipstick and blush on for nothing. And you're going to be calling me he, because people are going to look at you like, what? It's happened at work many of times. Co-workers have done that, and then the managers are the ones that actually correct them. And I'm just like, OMG. And sometimes if managers done it, the co-workers have done it the same as well, corrected them. If we're talking and speaking about healthcare providers or anybody that's in that field, it's okay to ask questions, because they're more nervous about you than you are them. So it's more about making them feel comfortable, asking them how they identify. Don't assume, and just be willing to be open to listen. If you want to listen. Also let them know your comfort level, because if you're not comfortable, then they'll know what to say and what not to say. To my fellow transgender people, stop being mean. Because I know we can be really hard and we expect people to already know. But remember that one person does not represent all transgender people, whether it's male to female or female to male. And everyone has a personal story that's different. And therefore, you have to get that information to know, like, I can't treat everyone the same. You just don't. And I've seen it so many times, and I just want people to be able to live cohesively, because we're some cool people. Not try to like set us apart of it. We're different, but I eat, sleep, and breathe and bleed and everything the same just as you. You know, I just was born into a different form and discover what that form was, and that's how I conduct and live my life moving forward.
Cool. Well, thanks, Libra. Thanks for doing this interview with me and letting us know more about your life being transgender and coming out, and things that you're involved with public restroom use and equal rights for that and transgender people.
Look up the Huffington Post for more information.
Okay.
Look up the campaign of Free to Pee. I think it's freetop.com or .org. That'll also give some more information and like some other anecdotes about like people's personal stories of what happened to them. I don't know if it's necessarily in Wisconsin, but I know it's nationally, probably, most likely. And then Madison has everything. Everything happens in Madison.
Yep.
So.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Libra.
Thank you.